So next up is a presentation from Jennifer Bedford, and it's talking about the MND professional community of practice.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Bedford from the MND Association in the UK, and here to talk to you about the community of practice that we set up. I believe that a community of practice is as vital for the development of best care for people living with MND as research is to finding a cure for the disease itself. At the association, we recognise a variety of structures and systems working within our regions and acknowledge that therefore some healthcare solutions work better in some areas than others. We know that good care is patient-centred and are aware of excellent examples of this happening. We also know there are many passionate people out there delivering best care. So we were keen to support the sharing of this best practice more widely than the local area. We wanted this information to be communicated across our regions and nationwide. So when we were thinking about what we wanted to do, we asked ourselves some questions. What can we do to support peer-to-peer learning and networking amongst the MND workforce? How can we listen to the MND workforce? How can we be responsive to their expressed needs? And how, importantly, can we speak directly with them? A community of practice was the obvious route. A community of practice is a group of people who shares a concern or passion for something they do and want to learn to do it better. Our community is a peer-led group of health and social care professionals, and their shared passion is improving the lives of people affected by MND. The guiding question which established the purpose of our community of practice was, what is the sum of our collective experience and knowledge? How many combined hours, days and years of experience and trial and error do we have? The community of practice brings people together to exchange ideas, talk, listen and learn. It also informs the development of resources. Through this, by sharing our collective experience and knowledge, and importantly learning from our mistakes, the community of practice supports professional development. It helps to improve service development, it increases cross-disciplinary awareness and encourages cross-disciplinary engagement. It also raises the awareness of MND outside the immediate MND community. So this means that we have an efficient way to communicate with a large body of professionals providing MND care and a way to share good practice and, importantly, a way to listen. At the centre of the community are a group of dedicated, experienced practitioners, the designated expert core. They steer the development and maintain the vitality of the community of practice. They are the engine of our community. We're very fortunate to have Jan Clark from the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery as chair, and a group of similarly knowledgeable, passionate and respected people drawn from across the field of MND. By design, they are representative of the NICE recommended multidisciplinary team and also representative of the devolved nations. This group meets regularly to propose, plan, deliver and review the various activities of our community. Ongoing and longitudinal evaluation ensures the currency, relevance and impact of our community activities. The Expert Corps also acts as a quality assurance for any professional resources developed. You can see some of them here at one of our regular online meetings. We launched the Community of Practice on the 1st of March in 2021. We did this through a dedicated web page, social media, newsletters and working with partner professional organisations. Just 8 days later, we held our launch event at which the purpose of the Community of Practice was shared and the first examples of our shared learning were presented. 50 people attended. The feedback was excellent and we were off to a great start. So things have moved on. What does our community look like now? Well, we've got over 900 members, 921 in fact, which we think is great, and numbers continue to increase. We have an excellent range of professions represented, and as we hoped, it's representative of the MDT recommended in the NICE guideline. Physiotherapists and occupational therapists are amongst the most represented groups, with speech and language therapists not far behind. And we continue to work with our partner professional organisations to promote membership. There's a satisfying geographic spread. The highest reputation currently is in the southeast of England, and we even have some non-UK members. As we continue with this initiative, our regional colleagues at the association encourage health and social care professionals that they work with to join and contribute to what's shaping up to be an active and rewarding community. We also have a dedicated space on our website, so a community of practice area for members where they can go in. It's password protected, and they can interact with any resources that we've got and see what's been posted there in terms of other activities that are going on within the community. So, what are we doing as a community? We're helping members answer questions like, surely we can't be the only service to have experienced this problem, and what might national colleagues make of this case study? And who might know the answer to this question? And how can I afford this training? We're doing this through a number of initiatives, including information and knowledge exchanges, an annual networking event, an online professionals forum, and a CPD fund. I'll introduce you to each of these now. Information and knowledge exchanges are online events that are held on Zoom, and they are to enable peer learning and support, to provide an opportunity for practitioners to share experiences and network with a focus on practice, not research. We have 3 information and knowledge exchanges each year, with a programme of webinars, workshops and masterclasses in between them. During the information and knowledge exchanges, attendees hear succinct presentations. They have the opportunity to question the speakers and have an opportunity for peer-to-peer discussion, which is really very popular. Members are encouraged to submit a summary of work they would like to share, and there's a downloadable submission on our website. All entries are assessed through a process agreed and carried out by the expert core. We average more than 100 attendees at each of these events, and 100% of the evaluations to date rate the online events as either excellent or good. Participants report an increased understanding of MND and the effective employment of techniques they've been introduced to through these community sessions, and increased confidence in clinical interactions is also reported. There is broad consensus that sharing knowledge and practice with peers from across the country and to hear what others are doing is invaluable for the development of effective services and practice. This year we held our first face-to-face networking event. Over 100 professionals attended. With this event, we aim to give people an inspiring keynote speaker, focused discussion sessions in critical symptom areas, some networking opportunities, and this was a really significant part of the day, and also equipment demonstrations. We wanted people to leave with practical solutions, increased knowledge, renewed confidence, fresh ideas, some new and useful contacts, and a distinct feeling of being part of a UK-wide professional community. After an invigorating keynote, we had 6 sessions covering critical areas of care, 3 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, including such sessions as communication, secretion management and end of life. Attendees moved round to each session in groups of 30, and there's great discussion in each session, and the feedback from the day was fantastic. I've given an example on this slide, but there were many more similar. We also, as part of the community of practice, have an online professionals forum. At the moment, this is hosted on Facebook, and we currently have 185 members, which again is really a great number to have achieved. We use this professionals forum to promote what we're doing, to send out information, perhaps share resources, but importantly it provides immediate peer-to-peer support, and we're starting to see people asking each other questions on the forum and giving each other answers, which is really great. The expert core wanted to be able to support continuing professional development in its widest form. We were aware that people had issues getting study leave for training, for example, but also the costs associated with travel, etc. So we felt what we could help with was to provide up to £250 for course fees. Travel costs we can pay for as well, up to £150 if people are about to present about MND and spreading the word about MND. And also we can pay for the printing of a poster, which can sometimes be prohibitive when people wanted to take part. And all of these things can count towards a continuing professional development portfolio. Equally as well, as we've gone through the different presentations that we've had, we've identified that there's issues around advanced communication. So we've made a response to that and organised an advanced communication pilot to see how that goes this year. As I said at the beginning, one of the things that's important about the community practice is for us to be able to listen to the membership and to be able to support in ways they feel they need. We've done this in a number of ways. So in our webinar series, we have organised webinars in a subject matter that people have asked for. As I mentioned, we've looked at advanced communication and we're running a pilot to see how we might help in that space. We've also introduced the Conversations With series, which is a short half an hour session in which an expert is interviewed, and we're able to do that in subjects that are coming up at the end of, say, a webinar where people have asked for a very specific question to be answered. So that's how we're responding to that. We also have produced some infographics in response to people wanting to know about the NICE guideline and just really get to the nub of what it is in there. And I'll share one of those next. Here's one of the infographics I was referring to. This example is the frontal temporal dementia. And what it does is it distills down the information that's in the NICE guideline. And we're hoping in this way to respond to some people's different ways of learning. And this was to appeal to visual learners. So hopefully this is enabling people to implement the NICE guidelines without having to read the entire guideline for themselves. So in summary, the community practice has been very successful, and we're really looking forward to what more we can do in 2023. When we discussed this at our recent meeting, the Expert Core, we felt that our key takeaways are it's important to support peer-to-peer learning and interaction. It's very powerful and it solves problems. Provide opportunities for practitioners to come together. Networking is critical to personal and service development. Share practice. It does prevent duplication and it moves everyone on faster. And be open to discussing both good and bad experiences. We can learn as much from the challenges as we can from our celebrations. Thanks for listening.
So that really woke you guys up back there. I've never seen you jump into action. That was fantastic. So, Jenny, thank you for your presentation. We'll see if there are any questions in the room. There's one question at the back.
Sorry, it's just a real quick question. I might have missed it, but how did you raise the funds to pay for the CPD funds? Was it sponsorship or do you charge membership fees?
Yeah, no, we don't charge membership. It's part of every year at the association I put in for a budget, and it's all raised very marvellously by donation to the association, and I'm allowed a part of that as part of my education development that I do. So I've ring-fenced some funds for CPD for people.
Thank you.
So, Jenny, when you first had this seed of the idea, did you ever imagine that it would be such an amazing success?
I really hoped it would be. But no, I mean, it's exceeded what I hoped for. To go over 900 members is fantastic. And when you look at the theory of community of practice, we have got a real hardcore of people that are there, but that's what you expect. You know, there's a certain number of people that are really going to engage with it, and that's probably around about the 150 mark. And then you get other people sort of reading and interacting with the community. So no, it's absolutely fantastic. And the feedback we get is so positive from everyone that's taking part. It's really heartening and great.
Fantastic, well done. Oh, we do have a question online.
Yes, this is from Diane with the ALS Society of Quebec. Can you elaborate on the master classes?
Yes, so in terms of masterclasses, what we do is we do charge for masterclasses, but only £40 for a day's training, which we think is really good, that day's education. What we do is we work with experts to develop the programs that we have, so we make sure that we have the right people in the right rooms, as it were. The masterclasses have been online to date because of COVID. That's how we've run the masterclasses so far. So they've had psychology masterclasses, and we've also had end-of-life masterclasses. So the content is worked up by experts, and also making sure that we're responding to the feedback that we get from the various webinars as well. So the questions that people are asking about those topics, we make sure are covered within the masterclasses. We also had workshops as well that we've been looking at this year, where we're aiming those at people that don't necessarily have expertise. So we're trying to bring people's skills levels up. So we've had respiratory workshops, which are aimed at people with no respiratory expertise at all, but teaching them about what the assessments that people might be going through, etc. So yeah, that's how we do the masterclasses.
Brilliant. So thank you so much, Jenny.